IVM.
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen yaar, don't be so conservative. Okay, there's a countdown normally. Yeah, there it is. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Every time I see these numbers, I'm about to take off like a rocket, but then I'm told that doesn't really happen because of physics, law of gravity and all that. I'm back at Amit's studio, which I call Amit's studio imaginatively, and I want to quickly rant. It's not really a rant, it's a request. The June 1st, I think, was LGBTQ Day, week, month here. And hey, I'm not making fun. I'm a big supporter. Left of center, central left, something like that. But anyway, I can take a U-turn at the center. Point being, I find that as an acronym, it's just too long. LGBTQ, I always hesitate while saying it. So I'm just requesting the LGBTQ to understand the whole acronym thing, which is like you have World Health Organization, WHO. So you don't want to say the long word, so instead of World Health Organization, you say WHO. It's short and quick, okay? You could take anything you want. Adidas, it's pretty quick. It hits you fast. Adidas. All day I dream about sex. Whatever. I'm not sure what it really means. The point being, I find LGBTQ tough on the tongue. Not just the number of letters, but the letters itself. So it's very difficult for someone to say LGBTQ without, sort of stuttering like I am right now. Can't we change the name to maybe just LG? And you can share the rights with whoever else wants to use the same brand. Or maybe just take a new name which is easy on the tongue, like, say Pushpa or Johnny or Babulu, or whatever, just something really quick and short. I'm just saying that, no disrespect, that LGBTQ takes me a long time to say in a sentence and I always stumble over it. I'm not the only one.
Namaskar, dear friends. My name is Ashish Vidyarthi. Life, as you know, is a journey. And you and I, travelers, how can we celebrate this travel? I have a podcast for you. Begin the journey. I share stories and moments from my life. Do tune in every Monday and Thursday to listen to my podcast on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcast from. Cheers.
Let's start cock and bull with my fellow LGBTQians. By the way, Antariksh, also
Yes.
known as Silverie, do you know what LGBTQ stands for, each and every one?
Yeah.
And that's not even all of them. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Bang.
What? Really? Okay.
On the spot.
LGBTQ,
L.
lesbian, gay, bisexual, LGBT is transgendered, LGBTQ is queer. Yeah.
Is that right, Amit?
Yeah.
That is right. And what's actually really amazing is what you said is there's some truth to what you said, right? In the sense that when I first heard the acronym, it was LGB,
Yeah.
lesbian, gay, and
Better.
bisexual. Okay.
Better.
Then after that, transsexual got added to it. Then after that, queer got added to it. Then after that, asexual got added to it. Then after that, intersectional is now LGBTQIA,
That's what.
I think.
Yeah.
So this is
correct.
it's a paradox towards the philosophy of acronyms.
Yeah, so intersectional got added, and now asexual got added to it. So it's see, I mean, like, it's a very handy term in some ways to essentially be able to identify marginalized groups. So
I think the president of the LGBTQ has rung the bell. I may have to open it. Well, one of us will have to.
There's somebody at the door.
There's somebody?
Ravi's at home. Ravi's there.
Okay,
He'll open
Ravi,
the door.
this is okay. Now technology is so quick and rampant that somebody can take action immediately. I'm so worried. We'll come to Twitter and Facebook and all that a little later in this program. But I just want to say that no disrespect to LGBTQ. Please don't send us any letters. I'm reminded of Jimmy Carr's two-word joke. Where he tried to come up with a two-word joke, the shortest joke ever, and he came up with dwarf stoppage. Dwarf shortage, which was like, I know. And then, he got letters and people got upset. And again, we're not endorsing that. So if you're a vertically challenged person, please, I'm just trying to say that some of these things, you've got to understand they're practical. There's a practicality to it. Anyway,
No, but
he's gone.
see, again, the thing is, when the term itself is talking about inclusiveness, right? When you're talking about LGBT, or when you were talking about LGB or LGBT
You're
initially,
trying to
right?
make it user-friendly.
No, you're talking about people who are suffering from inclusiveness, right? And then you find out that there are other or not find out, but I get other
No,
forms
no, no.
of
But that was always
sexual.
the plan.
uh,
Even when they were LGB, there are all the other categories. There are hundreds of categories. That's
Correct.
fine. There may be more to be discovered. The point is, you can't keep adding them on because your
No,
tongue dies.
but then Cyrus, then you're see, then again it becomes representative within these groups, right? Because there is a challenge in that as well. That a lot of people talk about that within LGBTQ representation. Generally, white gay men in the U.S. context basically take a prominent role more so than the other people who are part of the same kinds of
Oh my God!
this.
Now
And
there's
no,
going to be racism in. Oh,
there is,
jeez.
but there is, dude. I
As
mean, like,
against the prejudice inside the prejudice continues.
but
Oh,
there is, because the issues faced by certain forms of the population are different than issues faced by other forms of the population,
yeah,
right?
but you can't have the whole idea. Please understand of an acronym. If you look at any one that you're used to, whatever SPCA or WHO or World
Because
Bank or
okay,
whatever,
so in one
uh,
case you're talking about
it's
world, in the other case you're talking about animals, so they're category inclusive, right?
yeah,
When
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
saying
One,
gay, lesbian,
I
and
hear your point. I hear your point, but you have to draw the line somewhere, right? Because if FIFA is a Federation of International Football, whatever it is in French,
Mhm.
I mean, that's it. That just covers everything. So find another thing that covers everything, no? Because we can't list everybody. If we're going to list everybody, how is it an acronym anymore? The acronym loses its purpose. It's purposelessness now, as
but
far as I'm concerned. There's
so
no point.
the acronym then would probably have to be something around sexually marginalized, right? Rather than being
Absolutely.
r-
Let's put our heads
yeah.
together, straight and non straight people, and come together on this great cause and find a name which is easy for our tongues.
That
Otherwise, how am I going to support the community when I can't say anything? I go LGBT and I fall asleep. It's 2:30 in the afternoon. I haven't come to I yet. But
I
there's so many more letters.
so that I'm on board with. We find a
I'm
better
just thinking
term.
it's not good thinking. It's not good thinking because you want this word to get like Black Lives Matter. Super, boom. BLM. Everybody in the world, people don't speak English, you can say it. So somebody in Estonia is saying Black Lives Matter clearly. BLM, boom, bang.
But
MTV, music television, also
y-
known as CRAP,
okay,
crack.
so
But
while while I don't agree with this, it actually lays out the point, right? The idea that in other, the fact that Black Lives Matter is a somewhat exclusionary or kind of exclusive to a category discussion allows people to say white lives matter too, and all lives matter, and all the rest of that stuff that comes with that, right?
that's a debate for another day. My only point is you're trying to make it user friendly so that we can get into the whole thing without stumbling. I literally, Amit, okay, I stumble every time on LGBT. If I was doing a public show, I mean, a podcast, who cares? A, nobody watches. B, nobody cares. But if I'm doing a public show and it's for LGBTQ, I'd honestly be getting the jitters, which I never get. You only get when you have names in corporations on events, really long names, you don't want to say them wrong, Japanese names, German names, they suddenly hit them with you, they hit you with them, and you're supposed to put it together as you go on stage. Say, oh God, how do you pronounce Herman Schmuller? And he's like the CEO's pop.
Mhm.
So in the same light, I'm saying LGBTQ is not user friendly, and it's going to get longer and longer if we take the full form, which you just
It
included
will.
IPLDA and all. So let's just have one word, and also I like names. Why can't names? Because there's one symbol, one person called Pushpa who was the first gay lady or whatever. Boom, that's the person who's the movement is named after. Simple. They do it in science. You got stars, asteroids. Everybody's
Yeah,
named after somebody.
that is true.
Yeah, I don't see any problem. 69, the famous sexual position, the only one that I can do right now with myself, is named after numbers. Why can't we go that way? Just if there's 67 categories, just call it 67. Of course, once it reaches 69, there'll be confusion, a fight for the podium and all that.
Yes.
Let's move on. Mumbai lockdown, since we are locals, is what, 20% lessened? Not very
Yeah,
clear for
like
me.
stuff is open till like 4 p.m. now. Like shops and grocery stores and other stuff.
Correct. But can we
But
wander around in single groups of two and less or whatever? Or not?
I think so, right? I
The
think
shop
that's
is
allowed
open, so we
now.
can go shopping, I presume.
yeah, I think there won't be any stopping. And also, so in the last say 3 or 4 weeks, I ventured out like thrice, all of thrice. I've had to venture out, and I've not seen cops anywhere. I think even our police
But that
is.
powder they can't deliver to your house.
No, they can't. No, exactly.
But I just that's it, three times it makes sense, na? Every
Yeah, yeah,
5 days you need to go and get refills.
exactly.
Yeah. Uh.
But
So there are
yeah,
no cops. You're saying?
there are no
Yeah, it's
cops.
less.
Yeah, it's less anyway. I think, at least
It's
for
a
me,
little less, but
in my experience. I could be
but
wrong.
I
None of
hate
us are
arguing
wrong.
when I'm not clear. So now I'm not clear. For example, parks they've opened 5 to 9 a.m. in the morning apparently, and then after that it's shut for whatever reason. And they may allow football and all that. It's between 6 to 9, which means a lot of people can play or not play. I went through the whole thing in English. And I don't know if it's translated and not translated correctly, but so be careful. If you go anywhere, you have to double check. I don't know with whom. Maybe somebody at the center because there are two different rules anyway for everything. Yeah. But let's not be, mean spirited about it. At least from where we were, it's a little better position. And hopefully by June 14th, which is my father's birthday, we will get maybe 50% easing or more. They'll put us to level 2. We're at level 3, unfortunately.
Yeah,
We missed it. Did you read that?
I thought we were supposed to open up at level 2. I was surprised to see that we were
We
level
were
3.
level 2. They sent all the messages at level 2, and by 10 in the morning, they changed it to level 3
Uh,
yesterday or day before.
okay.
Because it was just 5.26 the positivity rate, and they wanted
Under
5.
5.
5 was your cutoff.
Yeah, so
Now
under
today we
5.
are under 3. We're under
Okay.
3.
So I
I
think
called up Varsha. I
uh,
spoke to I think the watchman, somebody, Mr. Sailesh. Mr. Sailesh, he said Kutrecha Pillu I Zavarya, and then one more word, which I didn't realize and understand. But he was very clear that I should not call again.
did he call you Silesh or did he call you Cyrus?
Yeah, myself. He said, myself, phone
Why
mat
so
karo.
Cyrus?
Anyway, so since we didn't criticize the government, I think I thought today I would not go overboard about the thing. Let's just see how it pans out for now.
Well,
Silvery,
I'm
will you be wandering?
I mean, no, but I was thinking that 5 a.m. to 9 a.m., if I want to go to a park, I'll have to get up first so early to go to a goddamn park. No, man.
well.
But for the
No way doing it.
oldies, I'm saying oldies, I'm also an oldie. I think it's okay because they mostly go with 6:37. That's the peak hour, up to 7:38. So I suppose
um,
it gives them something to do. They haven't yet opened it for the younger people who are training and all, I presume. And the evening is not clear. The 6 to 9 is allowed for sports, but that means people will collect together. Like if I want to play cricket, then
and isn't walking a sport?
it is.
So
It's a challenging sport in Kolaba
it's
without getting a bum pinched
no,
in
it's
the old
also
days.
I mean, like it's an Olympic sport, isn't it? I mean, like there are
Of
Olympic
course.
walkers.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, and
like
let me tell you that walk is not normal. The
it's
hip
not.
goes from side to side. It's
Yeah.
a bit like Deepika Padukone on the ramp. Whatever. But I used to copy it. I'm sure you guys all copied it after seeing it for the
Oh
first
yeah,
Yeah,
time.
yeah. The
yeah.
first time I
Correct,
saw
It
it,
correct.
I
just sounded
was
cool. Yeah.
obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I was just like, how can somebody? How is this a way that you do this? It was amazing.
It's also like cheating, no? Because everybody else is working really hard. The guy's swimming 100 meters in 2 seconds and running 100 meters in
Yes.
5 and throwing a fucking
Hey, I'm
ball
going
which
for a
is
walk.
huge. And then, yeah, he's just going and he's just dashing his hips out like, I like
Yeah.
everybody. Which brings us back to LGBTQ walking. Put that in. Huh. Okay, so anyway, the good thing is that all three of us will venture out from tomorrow at least, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sort of ventured out, but you live few buildings away, so that's cheating.
Well,
But tomorrow I
I'm
will go to.
thinking of heading to the office today. So I mean, like, I just want to kind of go and
Which
look
is
at
a
the park.
good distance. Which is for you, it's a good distance. I won't
Yeah,
say
it's
where
20
and all,
kilometers. It's 20
but it's
kilometers away.
exactly, yeah.
So
So
yeah.
that's like that's like a normalcy in a sense. If you're going 20 kilometers away, doing some business and then coming back, there's sort of sense of
So
normalcy.
my understanding is that you're allowed to, like, as an office, we're allowed to
50%,
function at some
50%.
percentage till 4 p.m. or something like that.
No, 50% till 4 p.m.
Oh,
However, the problem is if you're a one-man office, how do you get 50% of you inside the office?
that
And
is
there are
uh,
one-man
that
offices,
is
so
true.
only half of you can go because technically one of you is a full office, so you
That
can't go.
that is true.
I put that out there. I'm calling Varsha, but I don't have a phone. And that Sailesh will again give me some galis in Marathi. He's a sweet guy otherwise. Spits a lot. Yeah. But these are small things, not to be a comedian, but these are small things that are irritating. Your mind always goes there. What is these numbers and all? They sound all officious and people are very serious about it, but they're also infantile at some point because it's just a percentage play game in your
It
mind,
is.
which doesn't translate into success or failure if truth be told.
So I mean, like that. There is a whole body of work around this, right? Do numbers give you a false sense of precision in some cases, right?
Data.
I mean, like just because you put together, like saying that 14.4443% of this leads to that, does that really mean that there's any real kind of meaning to that
Look at the
number?
efficacy. The efficacy question. When you say 87% or 92%, what does it really mean? At
Mhm.
the end of the day, nothing is 100%. So that's scary enough.
Yep.
Just your bad luck that you come into the 12% that doesn't, succeed with the vaccine.
Yep.
Oh God, I shouldn't say that.
Well,
But
it's not that really, right? It's more. I think that if you put yourself in, see, this stuff is all risk reward, right? It's not as if 87% of people who are exposed to the vaccine for a long period of time will not get the virus if you got your vaccination doses, right? It is more about it's more like law of big numbers. What is the probability Efficacy,
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's a probability in theory on a piece of paper. Look at it this way: I have a small office, and I put 3 people in it instead of 6. Is it really going to make a difference to anyone getting it or not getting it? They may get it with 3, they may not get it with 3. They may get it with
right.
6, they may not get it with 6. So this percentage play is purely it's
No, but
illusional in a sense.
no,
It's
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 not
my daughter.
illusional,
It's
right? So,
Maya.
but see, Cyrus,
It is.
that's the
There's no
entire.
guarantee.
There is no guarantee, but that's the entire point of
How
probabilistic
does it really
thinking,
make a
right?
difference? 3 versus 6. I'm just saying. Let's talk numbers purely.
No, no, it's
How does it make a
probability. It's
difference?
probability. It's
You
all
you
about
really tell
probability.
me that as a betting man, 6 versus 3 in a 500
Yeah,
square
of
foot
course.
office, you would say, wow, there's a huge chance
There
of getting
is
it if
a
you're six
there.
versus
Okay,
three.
it's not
When
three
you're
versus.
keeping people together for till 4 p.m.,
Okay, it's not 3 versus 6 in your office. It's 50% of people in all offices across the city. That's where the probabilities are. One place is not probability. Probability is something that you look at over a large period of time. This is poker, right? When you're playing poker on any given hand, the right move might not
I've
win.
never poked her in my life. My lord,
So,
I want to
okay.
just bring that up. No, I can understand the other point of view, which we are not looking at, which is
Uh,
you keep 50% at home, so that 50% are untouched. You got 50%
That's
pure
not it
in a
either. It's not
experiment.
that. It's not that.
Yeah,
It's about.
from that perspective, it makes a slight sense to me. Otherwise, honestly, I cannot understand how 3 and 6 there'll be a huge
Let's play
difference.
poker,
You get
dude.
it,
Let's play poker. Seriously, I
bro.
can take your. I'd love to have some of your money.
Bro, that's
That's what
that's
will
really
happen.
mean.
No, because no, because that's what will happen
Why would
here,
you
right?
do that? I'm
It's
just arguing about statistics,
see, it's
and you and your
prob.
damn poker.
See,
So
it's
you and the Maharashtra government are sitting playing poker. Is that with
that's
us
essentially
during
so.
COVID? हाँ डाल दो 3 और 6 आएगा
So,
वापस.
I was just recommended a book this weekend, right? I'll send that book to you, which you should. It's basically it's called The
I'm
Art of.
I'm you're just outside my door. You don't
Dude,
have to send it. Just give it to me.
no, because I don't
You can
have
walk into the frame.
I don't have physical books. I have to basically send you a book
Oh,
by
oh,
a
you and
Kindle
your bloody
gift,
digital
and
culture.
then make you figure out how
Silvery,
to use an iPad,
please
and then
jump
figure
in
out
and
how to give
attack
you a
Amit.
Kindle app on that,
Now it's
and
become a
just keep a
brocha
mouse.
bashing, brocha digital retard bashing session. It wasn't that. It was about the numbers and
No,
the
but
numbers game.
the idea being, how do you figure out probabilistic theory, right? How do you figure out what is the probability of certain things happening?
How do you match the percentile? You
You
tell me
ne-
that.
Probabilistic
How do
theory
you give
is
me
see, you have to make decisions in an uncertain world. Correct? You don't know
no,
exactly what is
the
what.
math? So let's talk mathematically. How will you tell me that this X amount of number people will lead to X amount of efficacy rate or
Okay.
chance of not getting it or whatever the word is you want to use?
Okay.
Okay, so how do you match the numbers? Tell me that.
So let's put it like this, right? Let's say that there are 1,000 people out in the world. Okay.
Right,
Those 1,000 people are out in the world. They're in offices of certain sizes. Okay. We
right.
know that corona spreads through aerosol. We know that corona spreads to certain things, right?
Hmm.
We know that it is possible to stay safe within a space that is like this, right? So how do you make it? So basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to minimize across those 1,000 people.
But give me the
What is
numbers, now. Just talk to me numbers.
how
See,
do
in
I
so
know the
much.
numbers? It's probably
But then, how do you go to this formula? This formula that people come up with 50%, and then that's good.
no. So
How do
fifty
you get
percent is
that?
not. See, again, these are arbitrary numbers in some sense,
If
right?
I have 6 people in a 20,000 square foot office and I'm only allowed 3, it makes no sense. On the other hand, if I have a 50 square foot office and I have 12 people and I'm allowed 6, it still makes no sense
It still
from
makes
the
no
point of
sense.
view of what they're thinking. So I
It
don't get the
does.
numbers. 50 for a wedding, but if the wedding is in Wankhede Stadium, they
Cyrus,
can have 100.
do you know your
There's enough
favorite
space.
statement that I gave you in August?
Don't call me.
Anecdotes are not data.
Anecdotes are not data. That's
Right?
true.
Yeah. So it's the same kind of thing here, right? See, basically, data is stuff where you're spreading it over a large number of people with a large this, right? Oh, it's this
I,
exact same thing here. You're trying to spread the risk over as many people as possible and minimize the risk for as wide a proportion of people as possible. You're not
yes,
trying to solve
true.
for
But
every single case.
on a more important note, I think we need to watch Ordnob's channel again. Our panelists don't fight hard enough. I do feel that we give up too quickly. I've already lost interest in this whole topic, and
I
I
can
hope the
tell.
Maharashtra government doesn't tell me ever about their 50 and 25%, because I just can't. My mind just can't take it. I just can't. I know it's not even lateral thinking or something. I just can't understand how they come to this conclusion. Silvery, say something as a young man. What's your opinion? Don't you care?
He's just happy
I
working at home. He don't want to come back to office ever.
Yeah,
He doesn't.
exactly,
He's so
man.
pro
Pretty
lockdown.
much.
He's done video after video. Uddhav, call me. Let's take 10 more days.
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Yeah, every other day I call up with Dhav and like, hey buddy, come on man, let's extend
I
this a
want to
little
warn
more.
you, 18 minutes have passed of your damn show. You haven't started one topic. And this happens every time. And we actually haven't really
Yeah,
spoken about anything as usual. LGBTQ, a little bit here and there. And then we went into lockdown, and it's all petty insecurities of each person.
yeah.
And Amit and his poker philosophy, how
So
cards
the
rule
name
the
of the
world.
book I was thinking about is Thinking in Bets by Annie.
Thinking in beds.
Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke.
Oh, thank God. God, I thought it was sexual positions again. I'm so confused. I still at Kama Sutra, I'm still on page 3. The moment you put your hand over somebody's shoulder, I'm like confused. You know, clinical attitudes towards sex have never been impressive with women you're dating. Let me tell you. Did you just put my hand here? It doesn't work. Sorry for the graphic imagery. Now you're imagining what kind of idiot
I'm
female.
just trying to figure where that hand is going.
What are the statistics on this one? How many females? Very unlikely. Shall we move to topic 1?
I think we
Yes,
should.
sure. We have a couple of funny topics amid some very serious ones as well. So we'll start with one of the funny ones.
Putting pressure on
A
the topic
BBC
now.
anchor.
People do
Putting
this
pressure on
with
the
functions,
topic.
and the very funny Cyrus broach. I'm like, why do you say that? No, if I don't, I'm not funny, then just don't say anything. Then there's no pressure. Now there's pressure. It just better be funny. You know what I'm saying? Now people listening, oh, it's a funny topic,
Cool,
stop
cool.
everything.
Oh,
Amit,
funny
Aja,
topic.
Aja. Listen to the podcast. Why do you do that?
Okay, this is not
okay,
not
let's
funny
go.
at all. But a BBC anchor
Damn, much better.
was a BBC anchor was caught wearing shorts in studio while on the news. I'll just share my screen and show you guys that this thing, if I can. 1 second.
He's my favorite already. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're waiting for the thing. But in
Yes,
the
yes.
meantime, I could tell you a story. Okay, let's take a look first. Because I think amongst the... So what happened is that he didn't realize that they were still running the
Yeah,
show.
from the
Or they
side, he
came
didn't
back to
realize
him
the
for some
side
reason.
shot.
There was a side
There would be a-
camera.
there was a side
He's in
camera.
Side camera.
So what's surprising to me is the fact that he's in studio and doing this, right? I mean, like at home, though, I think, like I doubt any of us are wearing full pants right now, right?
No, but I've been around more news studios, and there are a couple of people who like to wear. You keep the formal only here, but I've never seen shorts. But Rajdeep Sardesai, famous for jeans,
Jeans,
below.
Jeans,
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's because Indians are not comfortable wearing shorts to
Yeah.
work, firstly. But not wearing the formal pant and belt, lots of times it's happened, and there are lots of them who do it. And frankly speaking, they go into the promo shot of the end shot of the show or whatever, and then experienced anchors like it appeared to be that shot, the pull out and then the shot, the imagery of the title that came on. So I'm sure he was caught off guard. Maybe they changed they use the side shot which they don't normally use.
Which they don't normally use, yeah.
But he seems like not ageism shouldn't, now we've already had all the other isms, but he seems like an experienced old anchor.
Yeah.
So I find it hard to believe that he didn't know his angles and all, what's operating where.
Also, what is funny is that he was talking about very serious news, and people had already seen him in shorts. So like he's talking about like the coronavirus death rates and all that kind of stuff. And he's interviewing
It's not the
guests.
shorts.
Yeah.
It's the top which is this formal and the shorts which is informal, which boggles the mind. I like it.
And also
I
he
think
was
it's a great
interviewing
look.
guests. He was interviewing guests, and guests have just seen him in shorts. So some of them were like trying to stop giggling and all while they're talking to him. So that's just
Could
really
they have
funny.
set it up purposely, you think? Just to create
I
what
was
they've
thinking
created
that.
now?
I was thinking that, but
Look
why
at the
would the
buzz.
BBC?
It's a
I don't think the
positive buzz.
BBC would do
Everybody's
that.
laughing.
No, but,
No,
so,
but
I
why
mean,
not?
I think it's
Just
sorry.
yeah, go on.
No, I'm just saying. I think this is normal, right? I mean, like, I don't think that this is that unusual, is it? That I mean, like, I know that when you're like shooting a film, right? That time the frame is everything that matters. Again, a little bit of experience in that kind of thing. You only care about what's in the frame. You don't care about what's outside, right? So I mean, like, I remember that when we used to be like, this was the movie Lavaris and the other movies that I worked on. You'd block
Lavaris, you didn't work on the Amitabh Lavaris. This was the second one.
yeah, I'm 73 years old, dude.
Yeah, that's right.
So I did work on that movie.
And a Lavaris to boot. Go on.
So what would happen is you'd have your frame, right, and then like just outside the frame, there would be like all kinds of shit lying out, like just on the side, like like mounds of bricks and like
Correct.
all kinds of set stuff and stuff like that. So I don't think that this would be surprising.
And that's fair.
Yeah, why do you need it? You have to. What
You're
you're doing
talking about
is
a
shooting a
feature
frame.
film where it's one frame at a time.
Yeah.
This guy is stuck for 20 years in the same
Yeah.
frame, doing the same thing, possibly the same show. He seemed like a seasoned anchor. He couldn't have made his debut that week. Okay, so I'm saying that's not the possibility, Silvery, out there. It's just like a PR exercise. The news is dark, it's drab, it's, England just getting back on its feet. Yes, but then what the hell? Inject some color, some comedy, and he comes across as cute, if the word can be used, not disgusting, creepy, whatever. We're
Yeah.
all laughing. Nobody's saying like yuck or that kind of thing. On the other hand, one girl told me, a girlfriend of mine, that please keep your shirt on because I don't think it's correct to do podcasts with your shirts off. So I tried to explain to her the heat issue and all that, but she was like very adamant. And she said, look, I'm telling you this not from any personal point of view to put you down or anything, but it just doesn't look right. You shouldn't do that. So I've
Who's
decided
this?
I'll keep the shirt on.
Who is
There's
this?
one girl, she was a girl, lady. Not a
Huh?
girl, she's in her
No,
40s.
but a friend, right? Yeah,
What did
just
she
a
watch the
friend.
show? Sorry, girl.
Oh.
Damn. What did you do that? It was all going swimmingly well.
Okay.
Young girl. Anyway, so no, so that was the point of view. So I don't know. So do people take offense, etc., etc.,
They
etc.?
do actually. You'd
So
be surprised at how
yeah,
many comments we get when you're shirtless
yeah.
about
So I would
your being
save
shirtless.
shirtless for Alibag when it's just too hot and I'm sweating,
Yeah,
and I really because the sweat is too much.
so
Ah.
I think Alibag is a different situation, right? I mean, like that's also it plays into this. We don't need
Amit,
to discuss it.
Alibag, our speed is 12. It's more than home.
I know.
That terrible one where I had no Wi-Fi for 5 days. Aisha just the speed test there. It's 12 on the download. Sorry, on the upload. 12. That's like,
So yeah,
should I
man.
move?
I think on the weekends you have to come to Amit's house. Your family and all have to all
Yeah.
move to Amit's house
Something
with
like
the
that,
dogs and
really.
everything.
I mean, Malba Hill really is the worst. You look at Malba Hill, I don't know how Malba Hill has decent property rates or whatever. But we have nothing. Amit, we have nothing. Our Wi-Fi is not working properly where we are right now. We have no hospital. Elizabeth is still far away from where I live. There's no movie, cinema hall, no restaurant, no mall. What have we got?
What is the closest restaurant outside of the WI club, right? I mean,
Now,
like
Nepean Sea Road, or
what?
this
What is
thing.
there? What's at
No,
Nepean Road? Sun is
there's
shut.
that sun wedge. Sun wedge is
That's
there, no? The
that's
sun
shut. Now it's only at the Bridge Candy one.
Snowman's, if you want to call it a restaurant.
Oh, so I mean, like you get then you're getting into Bridge Candy. Then I'm sure there's stuff before then, right?
Yeah,
There's that
that's
plate
true.
and pint at the end
So
of Nepean
Nepean
Sea
Sea,
Road.
God, Nepean Sea Road also doesn't have anything.
No, there's a
Even the Belwalas aren't there.
plate and pint is there, na, at the end of Nepean Sea Road next
Britain
to
Point,
Croma.
yeah, there's at
Yeah,
the turn.
yeah, that's it. And
But
then China Garden and Shalimar and those. We live in a
yeah,
place with nothing but residential.
I think people in Nepean Sea Road, Walkeshwar, Malba Hill, surrounding areas are all going to lose weight. It's just very clear. We have nowhere to go, nowhere to eat. And they've taken away the Belwalas and sandwich walas. I hope they come back now. I eat a bale a day, by the way, guys.
The Belwalas and
Ram
sandwich
bale.
wallas are still not there. They're not in their
No,
spaces.
no.
They had like their own little
Illa.
restauranty thingies, no, that they're all created.
Now,
The
now from
small
today, they should
garages.
be allowed
Yeah.
technically. So the vada pav guy should be allowed. So we'll see. As you know, it's not very clear. If you have to do it, then get arrested, be the guy who takes the bullet for the team, and then, we find out what's happening. It's like
Yep.
that.
Yep. True.
But yeah, I feel very marginalized as a elite member of society who doesn't get his bail, doesn't have a mall, doesn't have a cinema, doesn't have a hospital, and can't even go to the garden. Well, now I hope they will open it 5 to 9 and more, but I'm talking about till today. I was just thinking, what if Ornob wore shorts? One of his really screaming, shouting matches, and
Oh, that'd
he
be
goes on
hilarious.
and
Yeah.
says,
This-
oh,
the
fantastic.
contrast.
He says, we will get to the bottom of this. We will investigate this case and we will find out everything, the A to Z. And he stands up and then it's like swimming costume.
I think
And all that.
that's the problem, right? He stands up too much, right, when he's doing his show.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's too
y-
careful.
yeah, if he was sitting all the time, then I think he would get away with it. But I think he stands up. Like I've heard about anchors in India doing this too, right? I mean, like you mentioned Rajdeep. I've heard from other people also they do this kind of thing.
Shorts. I don't know anyone with
Not
shorts. And I've
shorts,
been
not
to,
shorts. So
but
I've heard,
definitely informal lower thing. Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
So I've heard female anchors where like
Oh,
they'll get
lots.
the
Stay in their
blazers
jeans.
and all of
Yeah,
this, and then underneath
Stay in
it's
their
all just
jeans.
jeans. Yeah.
And fair enough.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm telling you, there's no need because it's not seen.
Yeah.
It will only be seen if somebody wants to make a fool of you. That's why I'm thinking it's done, as we say in Hindi, jaan bujh ke. I don't know. I just feel that because it's a small team and you know what you're doing. Everybody knows the angles. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah.
True.
BBC, a fraudulent place. Unbelievable. To believe that BBC would do this, how the institution has fallen. Where's Doordarshan now and where's BBC? Doordarshan has raced ahead. Program after program, winning awards left, right, and center. Have you all seen? I can't even name one. Let's move on.
I don't know the last time I saw any
Doordarshan.
Doordarshan show.
What do you miss? You miss the color bar. No, 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 no.
I actually I don't know the last time I watched television, so I guess maybe that was it. This I wanted to watch something on TV yesterday, and oh no, it wasn't TV. It was I bought the last there's only one app remaining to buy for me now at this point in time on the Indian OTT scene. I bought everything else now.
Oh,
I've
be
subscribed to
careful,
everything
huh?
Oh,
Be
else.
can we
careful.
guess which
Huh.
app you have left? Can we guess?
Sure. I'll tell you which one I got yesterday, and you'll know why I got it also. I got
Okay.
Z5 yesterday for the Friends reunion,
Oh, for the Friends Reunion. Okay.
right?
For one
I think you have
episode,
Sony Live
after
left.
which
I
you
think
will
you have.
dismantle it.
You are absolutely right. That's the only one
Yeah.
left.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
How did I
You could have
get?
got it taped and sent to you,
Yeah.
bro. What kind of crap? Really?
Uh,
Unbelievable.
well, it was like, dude, where am I? So again, I feel like I don't really want to do piracy things, right?
Yeah, but
I
I
feel
feel
like
you're unpatriotic. May I say you're not a Deshbhakt? Because you should have got Radhe first, okay, on Z5. That should have been your first priority. And only then, if you had money left over, go for the Friends reunion.
yeah, I know.
I
I
find this
do
is
regret
against our
it. So
culture.
there's nothing else on Z5. It's the most barren of all OTT apps.
You know,
Like,
there's a
Friends.
Malayalam filmmaker. You guys read, I can't remember his name, I apologize immediately, but very famous, talking about how Indian cinema and television in all other languages has gone streets ahead, and
oh,
Hindi television and cinema is sleeping in a sleeping zone. And not a
awful,
completely untrue statement, bro. If you
dude.
look at Marathi, Gujarati, Odia,
Yeah.
Bengali, I mean, all these guys, the South they don't even get into. I mean, they've gone way
So
ahead.
I
And
really
Hindi,
enjoyed the first season of Family Man, right? And I want to watch the second
Hmm.
one, but the kind of hoo-ha
Raj
that
DK.
people are making about it right now, right? Yeah, Raj DK, your friends from '99.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
But I
so
mean,
I think of them as foreigners, so they don't count
no, but I'm just
because
saying
they,
that. I mean, like, it's
yeah.
so rare when there is something which people really, really love, right? I mean, like, there's this one in the last year. I can think of like maybe one or two other things, right? The Sushmita Sen thing, Arya,
I won't,
which had
and
this
without
kind of
taking,
this,
yeah, and without taking
and
names, the sequels have all been crap. Okay, almost all the we won't take their names, but the
second
sequel,
seasons didn't
whatever,
work. Yeah,
didn't work. Which
exactly.
means it's not going to test, in terms of Friends and shows which live forever.
Yeah.
It doesn't go to that bracket
Like,
with just
I'm
the one
seriously, I'm
season.
thinking last year, like I can think of three Indian shows which I heard of, and that's a low number. Like three Indian shows that I've heard of is like
Back to
super high
numbers.
quality.
Yeah,
That's
three
a
out of how many gives you a
exactly
percentage.
that's a low
Yeah,
compared to the number, right? Arya,
and it's
this
not.
one, and
It,
Delhi Crime, right? When Delhi Crime might
it's
even have been
also, yeah.
pre-lockdown.
I think Telegram was pre-lockdown. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Telegram again. Rishi, I think his name is the director, lives in Canada or whatever. All I'm saying is all these guys have perspectives which are Western and come from another world altogether. They're not so brought up in this Hindi loud television space. Hindi loud television space is very different. The Malayalam guys, Malayali speaking guys, making fun of them are because they have a certain stereotype now of their loudness and the plot and everything else. Which for all the if you look at any of the other cinema, they actually have nice stories which can hold their own. A Korean guy can watch a Malayali film and say, okay, I don't speak Malayalam, but the subtitles, and the same way you
It
watch a
just
Korean
works. Yeah,
film.
yeah.
But will they watch a lot of the Hindi TV that you mentioned, other than one or two of the usual suspects? Both Delhi Crime and Family Plan, especially season one. I agree with you. What do you think, Silvery? Decent stuff, right?
Yeah. Quite.
But
It's
but but
quite
made
nice.
by
Very
Raj
well.
DK and if I can only remember Rishi's name, oh my god, Goldie. Goldie is one of you. So this Punjabi sounding first name, Rishi Goldie Barry. I think he's based in Canada. So all I'm saying is like Amit, So Amit's got strong Western influences also. Not to say that's a good or bad thing, but I'm saying they don't get caught in this cycle that you're born into when you start from here. And maybe you're talented, but you're forced to become louder and think in a more formula way. And they've got these ideas that there's a science to the way they should make the show, which is all over the place. While
Uh,
these other guys seem to just have better plots,
Yep.
better stories. Sometimes one camera, two cameras, simple, unknown actors, story between a mother and a son. You think it's really boring, but it turns out to be, it wins something and everybody's like clapping left, right, and center. And so Hindi cinema and Hindi television, please. Of course, Amazon had a show called Laugh Out Loud, which was another level.
That
Uske
was just
alawa,
like that's like
no,
9.6
that's a
on
reality
IMDb,
show.
right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Like highest rating ever. If
Like
yeah,
that's the
highest,
98%
highest
highest,
rating.
on Rotten
super.
Tomatoes.
And
Yes.
Yeah.
after the fourth episode, the last episode it tanked because people didn't watch after that. Yeah, I'm being too mean to Hindi TV.
No,
Or is this like a South Bombay thing where we all look down on Hindi TV
no,
television
so I mean, like, see,
more than film?
So the thing is that there's an interesting phenomenon in India particularly, right, and Hindi channels particularly, where the most popular shows are nighttime soaps. Now, soaps have an appeal to a certain kind of audience, right? But soaps are also they are equally there's a repugnance to another kind of audience for it. You're repelling audiences, right? It's not like there are shows that can be created where like you might appeal to some people and other people will be somewhat indifferent. Soaps are like a little
I
problematic.
personally feel pornography is more intellectual than soaps
Sorry, what?
after a point. Pornography largely is more
Oh,
intellectual
okay.
than soaps. I mean,
Well,
I honestly think soaps are the
it's the
bottom of the
same.
barrel
It's the
sometimes.
same
Just
thing in some ways, right? You're scratching like a really you're
I think more
scratching an
sincere
itch.
effort in porn. There's a more sincere effort in
Yeah.
porn than there is in soap operas with those look has to be shot in three ways and all that of the person's reaction and all, which just slows down your life. For ADD people like myself, it's disaster. I've given up sex because of soaps.
I,
It's like
I
that.
find soaps really interesting, especially the people who create soaps, because when you talk to some of them, they're actually cinematically quite literate, right? And so it's not as if they don't know what they're making is kind of
But
else
they
the lowest common
compromise. That's what I'm
denominator.
saying. So you're born
Yeah.
in this cycle and you can't get out of it. As against those who are living elsewhere and are able to come and, put their stamp quickly
Mm,
because they've got a certain, like Raj DK.
mm,
Their thinking is very different, although, of course, raised on Telugu films as
mm.
well, but very different style and thing. You can see that immediately. Let's take a break. It's 10:34 or
Oh
something, and
wow.
people are
Okay.
calling
Yeah.
up and
Yeah. We
saying,
should take a break.
stop this program. People should go to work, 50% allowed. Our numbers should drop by 50% today as we speak because of the fact that 50% are going to work. Is that true?
That
N-
is, let me
no,
see,
not true.
142 people watching right now. So not that true.
So all the people watching our show are shirkers.
But
Nobody wants to go to work.
no, but
No, they're
142 people
traveling,
watching,
bro.
but only 41 likes. Come on, guys, like it, like the channel, like the this. Do
41
the
likes.
yeah.
That, that
What is the language that we're supposed to use? Subscribe,
Yeah, hit
like, ring the
subscribe,
bell,
share,
hit the
hit
do,
like,
all
subscribe.
the does. Yes, please do all that stuff for us.
should we should make a promo, no, where we can't say the word and so we're feeling really bad about it. Hence, it doesn't look like we're forcing people to do it. Like such guy, and then the mother's like, "Well done, beta, well done." I'll think of a good promo. I'll do it. In the meantime, here's the break.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week on the IBM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please do. We're IBM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'd like to thank the sponsors on the network this week, Siet and Cred. We really appreciate the support. It is what makes this possible. So it was a fun week on Cyrus Says. We had guests like Dolly Singh, we had Guneet Monga, we had Kamya Jani of Curry Tales, and Cock and Bull as we always did. Do check it out. I think you'll really, really enjoy that. On Paisa Vaisa, we crossed 300 episodes, and Anupam was joined by Akhil Handa, the digital head of Bank of Baroda. All Things Policy discussed topics like the 100 years of China's Communist Party, the Facebook versus the Government of India case, and the evolution of Indian science. On the Wire Talk, Siddharth Bhatia was joined by Gautam Bhatia to discuss the Central Vista project and why it's attracting so much flack. Sadaf and Archit are back on the Non-Curry podcast, and this time they raise the temperatures as they discuss the beloved spice mirchi. On the Millennial Athlete, this week Tanvi and Shlok speak to Sarita Chauri, a visually impaired judoist. And finally, I want to ask you all to give a listen to the Triangle Offense. Anybody who has heard me talk on a podcast knows I can't shut up about basketball, and these guys know more about it than I do. So if you enjoy basketball, do check this out. Nishant and Monish do an excellent job with this show. I was one of their guests a few months ago, which is how I met them and tried to convince them to come onto the network, and they're finally here. So definitely do check this out. Show's available on all major podcasting platforms, but they also have a daily YouTube episode, which is available on the IVM Podcast channel. And with that, let me get you back to your show.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Board Brocha. I'm so bored. I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me. Coming to you live. Yep, this is the break. In the break, we normally have something to read out. We don't, right?
I think we don't right now. I think hopefully we will by next week, but right now we don't.
We're in a vacuum. We're breakless. We're in a break, but we are looking for people to talk about in the break. So I'll just throw it out there. Surf detergent is fabulous, and I would love surf detergent to come aboard. Growing up on surf myself, big fan of surf. Surf and the little girl. well, not the girl, the little, but the girl also. But little and girl because they went together. You could have a little boy. It wouldn't work for me, La 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 la, and it's Himesh having a bath. It just won't work.
But
So
the
I'm a little girl.
the Tide ads were always better. The one with
You like
the
Tide?
thing that goes. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tide is
covering
nice.
that.
Yeah.
So you're a disgusting boy yourself, Silverie. That's good to
No,
know. The guy makes an ad film,
I think
and
that goes
Cyrus and
across.
Silverie only look at the sexual, aspirational quality of the film. Everybody else, I mean, they've sat in a boardroom with long pants, no shots like BBC, and they've come up with these great criteria, and we don't get it. We only get, chest cover ke pants. Wow, I love that. Yeah. Oh, I remember doing a greenathon with, I shouldn't say this, we'll get a Me Too case slapped on us, with very important people from a channel. I won't take their names, including one award winning Padma Shri, etc., etc., etc. And four of us were sitting backstage, and a very hot Bollywood girl, starlet, passed by and said hello to one of the guys. And all four men looked at each other and raised their eyebrows. I mean, I know it's not really that bad, but how do you stop yourself? It's like a normal sort of reaction. But yeah, I mean, and these are so in terms of, if you look at it for a class hierarchy, this was Oxford educated, super well educated, very sophisticated, award winning, government endorsed, all that. And me, I was the only one you'd say, okay, he's creepy enough to do this. But all four did it. And I had a moment of oneness with mankind when I realized it really doesn't matter, if you're, head of Reliance or not saying that he'd do it, or, a guy working in a McDonald's in Mumbai or whatever. These men have this reaction, and I think we should apologize for it before, because you get caught sooner or later. So we all went like that. It was horrible, really bad. But we were saving the environment. Does that count, guys?
Yeah, then it's fine, Cyrus.
Gobsmacked. Amit is worried we might get. They can't do any litigation yet, no. Do we have lawyers, Amit?
We have a lawyer.
That's it.
We have a fee. We have, yeah. I mean, like we're
Do we have a
part of a
disclaimer?
larger
No,
company,
but
so we do have
no, but
lawyers.
after this conversation, we'll have 5 more lawyers, Cyrus. Don't worry.
Yes, and disclaimers also throughout the show. We don't have ads, but we have disclaimers throughout. I'm not sure what he meant. Not sure what the host is saying. Host is heavily medicated. Vaccine side effects are real. We have all that going. Yeah. Okay, break is over, by the way.
Yeah,
and we've
let's
gone nowhere.
drop into
Let's do
another
one more
topic.
topic. Yep. So Juhi Chawla had filed a suit in the Delhi High Court against allowing 5G networks in India and 5G connections in India. She said raising health concerns, and the Delhi High Court dismissed the plea and saying that this is not true. This is not the facts don't hold up, and they have fined her 20 lakhs for misusing
It
the
was
court systems.
the fine was not supposed to be 20 lakhs, it was supposed to be 2 lakhs because that idiot sang the song in the background. It went to 20 lakhs. That really upset the judge. You should
Yeah,
never
so
do these kind of
because she
things
had-
because it's subjective.
Juhi Chawla had shared the link of the Zoom call or whatever the invite was to people, and then people started joining that Zoom call and singing her songs. Which also, I
But
don't know.
Juhi
Should you
also,
be
does she really think that if she shares it, it won't get out to the Aam Aadmi?
Exactly.
No,
and
she put it on Twitter. Of course, it's whatever social media.
she
God.
wanted
She
support.
thought the
wanted
government is
people to
banning Twitter,
join.
I'll get away with this.
So she misunderstood what the link was, right? She thought it was like a seminar kind of thing where people could come and watch, like as an open
without
kind
without
of
interfacing.
yeah, without as like
Correct.
in a court people come to the gallery.
Gallery.
She thought it
So
was a
she
place
thought it was
that
a gallery
people.
view.
She thought it
Yeah.
was a gallery, but it wasn't. It's basically everybody who comes in are participants.
Okay, before you attack her, which I know you will, because you're very anti the don't stopping technology brigade, and perhaps rightly so. Is she talking about the towers again? Is it the towers are the issue from which the
No,
radiation,
she
etc.,
wants
etc.?
5G
What is the
ended.
what is her? No,
She
what
doesn't
is the
want
reasoning?
she does not want 5G to roll out because she says that it's bad for the environment, it's bad for the health, and it's going to cause the radiation is bad for everybody.
Yeah, so that's the same conversation she's
It
been having
is
for a long time. There's
essentially.
another school of thought who thinks that basically because she's KKR owner, she's trying to protect Shah Rukh, who was 4G in the early part of his career. If you've seen the show, was this the first show he did?
4G. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, nice.
gee.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum because I'm thinking maybe there's some generational
K3G,
play over
okay.
there. I'm trying to figure out where are you coming from. I
You
knew
see,
there
the
was something
failure
there.
in this joke, lies that the one from the generation didn't get it, and the one from the generation after got it. So for me, the failure now is mind-boggling. And I do think radiation is an issue, and it's gone into your head. You live very close to Juhi Chawla, so do I. She's between the two of us in a sense, in
Yeah,
terms
she
of where
is.
she stays, and we have the towers right there. So hello, Amit, let's switch sides now. Let's go anti 5G. Okay, now you have the space. Go and attack.
I am
Attack
not
the
going
liberals.
anti-5G. This is not the liberals. These are not the liberals. I'm
Is
sorry,
there any
please.
argument in the radiation from towers and cell towers
There
and
is an
the proposed
there is an argument about radiation, but the argument does not really hold water, because what happens is that as you move distance wise from the towers, the radiation drops exponentially. So you can't measure the radiation right next to the tower and say that's what everybody is getting. That's not how that happens, right? By the time the radiation you're seeing like a foot away from the tower, you get 2 feet away, it's 1% of that. You get another 2 feet away, it's 1% of that, right? So it
You're
just
just giving me
exponents.
numbers again, or this is actual science?
It's I don't know the actual numbers. It might be 1%, might be 4%, might be 8%, whatever it is. But it's an exponential curve. It drops it. That I do know for
Okay,
sure, right?
okay, let's
So
do the right thing.
hmm.
Go on.
No, so it's just listen. And this is the thing, Cyrus. Don't call these people liberals. They're not liberals. Okay, people who are trying to
All
stop
across
this
the
stuff, they're
world,
not
people who are
freedom.
stopping. It's a clash
It,
between the ecology in their minds, or environment, if you want to call it that, and technology. That technology, in its ruthless, blitzkrieg sort of way, goes forward and boom, 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 everything around it. That's the thinking. It's a parallel thinking across the world. It's not
it
a thinking
is,
which
but
only Juhi
it's
Chawla has.
so
So
it's I don't even know what to make of it, right? Because it's non-scientific thinking. It's thinking that's just anti-progress. It's like, oh, the world used to be so much better when there were only us
no, no,
50
no. I think
million
it's
rich
about the
people.
specifics of each case. We can't go into the philosophies alone. It's the
No, it
specifics
is
of
the
each case.
philosophy of
Sometimes
it,
they may
no?
have a point. Sometimes you may be destroying the environment, like the mangroves argument, for
No,
example, which I know we don't want to lock horns now because there'll be
no,
nothing
but
left on
that
the
I
show.
agree with you on, right? Mangroves are important. Ecology is
There are
different.
many who don't.
Listen,
For the
ecology.
greater good, and
This is not an
it's the same
ecological
family. It comes
argument.
from the
No,
health of the human
it's
being,
not an ecological
environment.
argument.
It's coming from the same space in the end. Yeah. But, okay.
Yeah, but just because you have the same motivation doesn't mean that the strength of your argument is the same, no?
Let's get Juhi Chawla on. It's not right that we lambast her like this. Please invite Juhi for the show. Silverie, use your professional pull. She's a St. Anne's girl, I think, which is my mother's school. They're about 40 years apart, so they should be friends. And we'll be able to get them on and have a good chat. And let us explain a point of view. We never do these shows. I'm dying to do these shows. We need to have one so-called scientist or someone who's proposing the theory of please don't come in the way of evolution, technological evolution, and one person saying why specifically in the case of the towers and the radiation X, Y, and Z applies. That's all I'm saying.
So
Then we have a proper
can I
argument
just
because
say
we're just
this
throwing things
though?
out.
See, here's the thing, right? These are the only people, okay, who can go out and make these cases are people who live in our neighborhood. Because for the rest of the world, okay,
You hate the rich.
no,
You should hate the middle class.
no, but this
Rich
is
are nice people.
well, so I mean, like you do know that everybody in our area who lives, like as the top 0.1% of this country are basically all middle class, right? You
Okay,
ask
now that you
any
bring
one of
money back,
them, and they'll be middle
Amit,
class.
you brought money back into it. So let me quickly point out that 20 lakh fine should be paid primarily by that guy who sang her Chawla favorite song.
Sure.
I think that because that upset and irritated the judge.
Yep.
It
Yeah,
could go two
and it
ways.
would.
If
That's
it
fair.
irritates. Yeah, of course, it's not about
Yeah.
Juhi Chawla's song. It's just that he sang and irritated the whole formality of this thing. Maybe he wasn't in a good mood. He got irritated. And from what I saw, the guy wasn't the most charming fan either. I mean, one or two may get away with it. So I think he should pay the fine. I'm putting it
Uh,
out there.
I
Silvery,
I think she should pay the fine for wasting everybody's time with this bullshit, man. I'm sorry, but I really do think that this is
how will Juhi come on the show if you talk like this, Amit?
well. I hope that she does come on the show and puts me in my place.
Much better.
Yeah,
Now you're thinking like an advertising man. Now you're thinking sales, marketing.
Isn't she just a victim of misinformation, though?
she is,
Uh,
but she should know better.
I can't believe she went to it's a high court via Zoom, but she went to a hearing without people around her advising her properly. It can't just be a thing where you have dinner and you say, oh, they took 2 trees away from our area. We must do something
Listen,
about it. It's
Cyrus,
much more than that.
people believe
She's
Baba
been doing this
Ramdev.
for years.
People believe Baba Ramdev. There are people who are adherents of Scientology. There are people who do all these cultish kinds of things, right? Just because she is, it doesn't mean she's stupid. It just means that she's a victim of misinformation.
Don't knock Baba Ramdev. I use his stuff for piles and for toothpaste. Sometimes I interchange, and it's fantastic. I have to tell you the experience. Shall we go to AMAs?
Let's do that.
It's already 11:15, so I'm thinking, oh, we can do more topics. It's your call.
no, let's go to
But
AMAs.
then we
We have
don't
tons of
That's it.
questions.
answer anything.
Do we
Yeah.
have a really
Yeah.
interesting? There are some interesting questions. Let's do the questions.
Yeah. All right. The first question comes in from Ritik Rawat. He says, "Did you guys watch the Floyd versus Logan fight? Your views."
Was the Floyd
So I
versus
didn't
Logan
watch.
fight available in India? I didn't even know if it was.
I think it's pay per view, but
Okay.
the problem with that is we only know the result is a draw. So I would love Ritik to tell us exactly what happened. So I can't believe it's a draw. It's almost now like it's a fixed game. I'm thinking subcontinental cricket now. It just
Yeah,
sounds fixed to me. I know there's a
exactly.
50-pound difference in weight and all that, but I'm just thinking, how did they not get a result?
But there's
How convenient to have a draw.
there's a massive age difference too, right? Floyd Mayweather is 50
Age
plus,
difference, he's
and
retired, blah blah blah, but he's still Floyd, Mayweather. He won't come in if he can't box anymore. He
yeah.
won't do that to
No, but
himself.
this guy's in his
Okay,
20s, right? I mean, like early 20s.
all that is right, but how did they get a draw out of it? It's like, we don't want him to lose because of his legacy and name and all that, and we want this YouTube sensation to continue so that maybe they can do a second rematch, or I don't know. I'm just thinking again. This is like the BBC thing. I'm just thinking. You hate the conspiracy theories, I know, but I'm just thinking. Is it? It
No,
just
but
sounds a
this is
little enough.
this is exactly the kind of place where conspiracies thrive, right? Because this is boxing, completely non-transparent, judged
Yeah.
on these weird
they've
criteria.
hijacked they've hijacked the whole business now to make it into, if you're a credible YouTube star with a strong presence, you can, and you want to, this is happening all over. We've got arm wrestling going on with Larry Wheels and all kinds of people, if you follow that, where they just take the sport and get people in who've got lots of followers. You've got the Game of Thrones actor Hafthor Bjornsson, who's a famous strongman, fighting Eddie Hall in a boxing match in September. That's pure money making. I mean, they're powerlifters and strongmen. Okay, that's their sport, and now they're doing this. So you know what I'm saying? They're
It's
making a
circus,
mockery of boxing and whatever sport you're indulging
dude.
in.
It's the circus, man. I mean, like, listen,
Yeah,
prize
the
fighting,
circus.
prize fighting is the circus. It's always been the circus, right? I mean, like, it was a serious thing for 50 years, right? Other than that, it's
I don't
always
know.
been a joke.
Ever since I knocked out Sonny Liston in practice, I just wasn't the same thing for me, because people say the punch didn't land. Of course, this references to the Muhammad Ali Sonny Liston fight, the Phantom Punch, where they say the knockout punch didn't land. If you're a boxing freak, you should know that. If you're not, this is not the program for you, beta. Huh.
No, but
Sorry,
I
Amit.
think that's a big part of it, right? It's one versus one. It's so susceptible to corruption. The boxing promoters are hucksters. The boxers themselves mostly come from situations of extreme poverty, right? If you're somebody who comes from middle class family, are your parents sending you to box? Hell no, right? So I mean, like, it is people who come from extreme poverty, and it's
My
just
parents boxed me
yeah,
every day. It was very painful, the memories, now when I think back. Yeah, but I get what you're saying. That it's almost like the people who have nothing else going for them land up doing the sport, blah blah blah.
yeah.
So you have so-called the dreg mentality and the dregs of the world coming together, and so there's no
No, I
point
don't want to
putting
call
you on
them
a
the
pedestal.
drags, right? I'm just saying that. See, the
You
thing is,
already have in a more sophisticated way. You're
no,
just
no. I'm
um,
just saying incentives are weird, now because if you are so, just think about what is as a boxer, what's your lifespan, right? 50 fights, probably 100 fights, maybe if
well,
you're
if
like
there's no inbreeding, if
in
there's
the
no
lower weight
inbreeding, they'll
classes.
12 to 15 years for good pedigree boxer.
But for a lower weight classes, no, in higher weight classes, you're again not
No,
that
I'm
much.
talking about the dog, for God's sake. Do I have to spell
Oh,
it out? I mean,
boxer.
yeah.
Oh God. Okay. All right.
Okay, write down Amit,
Okay.
not in to be in the front row of any stand-up comedy show, for no response, only laughs at cell towers. The moment Juhi Chawla
Maybe Cyrus needs to underline his joke a little more.
the moment Juhi Chawla files a case in court against technology, you're like, ha 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 ha! What a joke! But everything else, a man's killing himself here. Line after line, it's a boom going over your head like a bad wind. Oh man,
Uh,
really. Yeah, but I'm very disappointed in this fight, because I thought Mayweather would smack him around a little bit and give him his comeuppance. But now I just think that it's all a little plan by everybody to get together and push both the YouTube ratings, push the whatever thing it was on, create maybe a sequel so they can make even more money from a circus, as you called it. So I'm a little disappointed. So to answer, I think his name was Rithik. Now we lost his name as well. Hope I got it right. Apologize if I didn't.
oh.
Just need to know more about the fight. Yeah, yeah, Rithik. It is Rithik. It's Rithik with 10 fingers.
Or 10 toes, you mean? Does
No,
Ritik
no,
have extra finger or extra toe?
yeah, extra
This
thumb.
is
He
the
has an extra
discussion.
thumb.
Yeah, he's extra thumb.
This is the
Okay.
discussion.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Now,
All right.
the worst moment in the show, and you laughed. Until then, nothing. Unbelievable, really.
All right.
Chalo, next one.
Next one comes in from Gayatri Ravi. She says, Cyrus, if you were given an option to choose, would you go for Covishield or Covaxin?
Oh, I've already taken Covishield. But keep in mind that in my ministry of Brocha, my mother and my wife made up all the decisions. My wife actually, and so I didn't even know. I just went like a sheep. I followed her. She put me on a chair. She filled up everything. She had already filled up the links, etc. So in my case, helpless Indian man. I know the Covaxin has not been approved by the American and Western bodies and WHO, etc. But I'm sure they will
They will
because you can't.
eventually.
There's so many people have taken it.
They will. They
So
will.
for kids trying to go abroad, yeah, that kind of thing, and people whose lives are quickly going to be affected by travel. I can't understand how powerful India doesn't get Covaxin approved. And isn't the efficacy, coming back to Amit and his numbers, slightly better than Covishield? If I remember correctly, it's like 87 vis-a-vis 85 or something like that.
I honestly,
Yeah, in favor of Covaxin. It's like Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul in favor of Floyd. But yeah, I'm not sure anyway. But I don't care. Do you care? I don't care.
Covaxin
As long as the
question.
vaccine is good,
So
you
the
know.
only reason I care about Covishield is I am hoping to travel abroad in the next couple of months, which is the only reason I give a shit. Otherwise, I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
that's what. That's all I can think of. And also because it's Parsi made, I think that was Gayatri was hinting at. Since Covishield is Parsi made, that you should, say something for the Parsis.
How is
But since
Covishield
half,
partially made?
isn't that, is it's the one from AstraZeneca? It's the one from
Yeah.
Poonawala.
Adar Punawala.
So he's the manufacturer, dude. That doesn't make it partially made, huh?
How dare you, Amit Doshi? When the Prime Minister becomes the head of the country, and I'm proud for all Gujaratis, what the hell? Come on.
No, but
He's
dude,
making the country, but he's specifically not making the country, so you have to be proud.
that is weird. And
Otherwise,
then I mean, like by that definition, Coke is Maharashtrian made
no. Coke is
because
made by those brothers in America
no,
and
but
then
then
handed
Coke
down.
is black. But then the
Those are the
Coke is
guys.
bottled in Maharashtra plants, no?
Poonawalla is the entrepreneur. Tomorrow, if your podcast
Poonawala
win
is
lots of awards,
Poonawala
you
is
can't
the
be divorced from the awards.
no,
If
but
this show wins the Padma Bhushan, which it will, you also played a role in that. You can't say that, oh, it's no, I'm just the guy who set it up and all. No,
but
it's your
isn't
show.
no Poonawala is the guy who is manufacturing, similar to the Coke guy who's bottling. The person who made it is the
Yes, but
AstraZeneca
the
scientists.
manufacturer is like the mother giving birth. He's manufactured the whole thing. I mean,
He's
without
the
them,
he
it's the
is
womb, it's the cervix, it's the vagina, it's everything. I mean,
listen.
everything goes through there. You're talking about the impregnation. Balls to you, I say. That's not a big deal. Anyone can impregnate. But the manufacturer, Amit Doshi, who comes forward and puts it all in and goes through the gallery, and then suddenly this 8-pound baby comes out and says, "Hi, mama." That's all Adar Poonawala. He's the mother of all vaccines. And his name
Okay.
is Adar, and he's the mother. You can see. Already we're confused.
He was the
Yeah.
one who got threats though, so I think
Of course.
he
Yeah, he
deserves
was.
it at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
The anti-minority thing continues in India. Threatening with 8 Parsis left and you threaten 3. That's really, really mean, honestly. We should be preserving every single one of them. Each semen drop should be kept in separate, all over the country so that any moment they can be pushed into new manufacturing units and the manufacturing goes on and on. At which point we should have a song in the background. Uh, yeah. So what was the question? So yeah, but I don't care, honestly. I was hoping for the single one, which is Pfizer with a P.
No, that's not a single shot. The single shot was from Johnson and Johnson, no?
Ah, Johnson and his brother Johnson.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I was
But
hoping for that, but then we had to get it done.
there was a problem with that.
So they are researching if
No, I think they were Johnson was forcing you to take the shot and then put a band-aid also, Johnson and Johnson. So money making racket. So be careful. That's not that's really we're hitting the really bad jokes. This is not Jimmy Carr at his best.
So, Antariksh, you were saying something?
no, just one thing quick on this. The different countries are researching if it's fine to mix different vaccines. Like mix, say the
Yeah.
one dose I got of some vaccine and
So
it ran out.
there's not a single proof on any data so far that it's not. That's what they're saying. There's not
Yeah,
a
that's what
single
they're saying.
when they've mixed.
Yeah.
There not one time has there been a problem so far.
So there is definitely
They're combining certain
A cocktail in a sense.
yeah. So they're saying that Covishield and the Pfizer vaccine play well together. That's what people are saying. But who knows?
Intercaste marriages. I'm all for it. So again, it's a metaphor for the world to be a better place. Shall we take in a couple more?
Yep.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know what the time is.
Absolutely. Next one is just a comment from Pranjal Kumar. He says you can say the queer community instead of saying LGBTQIA. You can say
No, they
queer
won't allow
community.
that. They haven't
That-
allowed
No,
that. I
he's right.
would.
No,
but
they have allowed it.
He's
I think
right.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
he's right.
Yeah, he's right.
That's the way to
Yeah.
that's the way to be inclusive.
guys. That's QC. QC is what you say in courts in England. It's
It's,
gonna no.
no,
You already got QC
it's not Queen's Counsel. It's Quality Control and
and
Queer
Queen's
Criminal.
Counsel
Yeah,
and
I know,
there's
I
so
know, I
many.
know, I know. QC is a common
I came up with
acronym.
Pushpa because I thought it's a very nice name, and it could be the founding member of one of these things. They can make it up also. It could be fiction, but no one will really know. After 200 years, there's a statute of limitations which elapses and nobody cares anymore. So you can just say, he discovered America. Nobody knows that Christopher Columbus actually did it. There's no photographic evidence in 1492. All we know is that they say he did it. And he anyway got it wrong. He went to the West Indies and blah, 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 blah. So I'm just saying, okay, fine. Is it QC then? Is that your decision?
No, I think queer community makes sense. I wouldn't call it QC. I'd just say the queer community. Like, I wouldn't use the
Yeah,
acronym.
because this is a tough one in the PC world we're living in. If you're going to do a gag, which is incidentally mentioning something but is not really about them,
Mm.
you got to set that up right. Otherwise, everybody's going to take offense.
Yeah.
I was thinking just like Jimmy Carr's comment on dwarf shortages. It's actually a term which could happen. I mean, in a context of what he's trying to say or whatever, but it sounds highly offensive, and the double play and all that. Oh, scary. Oh, that brings us back to Facebook, Twitter, and everything else. Where's the
Uh,
line of control here?
where do you? Yeah, and who's supposed to enforce it?
Is Zuckerberg really as angry as people are saying that they're using terms like pissed off, because when these guys have these cool images, pissed off just doesn't work.
Well, how can you not be angry, right? I mean, like, there's just so much nonsense around this stuff going on. I mean, if I were him, I can see. See, the thing is that he's in a no-win position, and I mean, again, I'm not trying to say that he's been like super responsible around things, right? I mean, like, again, they've been this, but it's a no-win position, right? I mean, like, they are being asked by governments to basically take over government functions, right? And then governments also want to supervise how they're taking over government functions, and then governments also. So it's a no-win situation, right? I mean, like, the way I see this, right, is that basically governments need to enhance their governing capability. They have to be able to deal with this stuff, and they
Yeah,
can.
which brings us to Nigeria. Okay, let's like use it as a analogy
Yeah.
or a parallel and not talk India. In Nigeria, Buhari, the president, Siri set it up, no? So what did he
The
say
story.
in the tweet?
Yeah. So yeah, please, Amit. I think you know the better.
Yeah, sure. So basically, there was a tweet that he put out talking about people in the south of the country. They were indulging in vandalism and things like that. And you're saying that these people don't realize the sacrifices
They
we
will get
made in the Nigerian wars, and we fought for we fought for months and months and months to kind of get the country that we have right now. And if these people, since these people are not understanding, we're going to put them down in that language, right? So I mean, like, basically saying that, hey, we're going to start oppressing the
physical aggression will be used against so-called
against people.
rebel activists or whatever.
Exactly.
And Twitter has gone on record to say that, how dare you say that?
Correct.
I have a big problem with this, Amit. I don't know about you. I have a big problem with this. It's really not their play, as
It's
far as
not
I'm
there.
concerned.
I see. Again, you all know how I feel about Donald Trump, right? I've never been a fan of that guy. I had a huge problem with Twitter and Facebook bouncing him from their platforms, right?
Me
It's
too.
not their job.
Even Kangana, we discussed this.
Yeah.
Even Kangana, for all that matter,
Yeah.
it's not their job. It's not their play. They're platforms and be platforms.
Yeah. See,
I mean, otherwise you're not a platform. You're just, you've got your own rules and regulations, and you're not a platform. You've got, you have to enter and follow the rules and regulations like a club.
yeah,
You're a club then, as far as
true.
I'm concerned.
Absolutely true.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't mean Buhari is right or wrong or Trump is right or wrong. We're talking about the idea of whether these platforms are free and fair or not. If they're free and fair, they're free and fair for everyone.
No,
Otherwise, how can they decide?
it's not their job to be free and fair. It's the job of the government to set up a
Okay,
set of
I'm using the wrong
regulations
words.
to
To
manage
be
this.
to it's just not their space. It's not their space
It's
about
not them. They're private
what Buhari
companies.
says, what Ravi Shankar Prasad says, or what some private opposition member says or
Yeah.
doesn't say. It's not their space. Zuckerberg, talk to me. Come on our show and let's talk man to man. We get Juhi Chawla too. She's very pretty and very entertaining and charming, and you'll enjoy that interaction as well. Just the phone will start ringing any moment now. Silverie, end the show fast so you can take these calls. In the meantime, one or two more. Shall we squeeze?
Yeah,
Time to
sure.
squeeze.
Yeah.
Squeeze.
So I can't find who asked this question, but I did read it. Someone had asked Cyrus, why hasn't Cyrus joined Clubhouse yet? Cyrus,
Oh, I
are
got
you
some
on?
invite from
Yeah. I think you will love the app,
was
by the
it?
way. I
Huh?
just got on it like 4 or 5 days back, and I think you will love the app,
Yeah.
Cyrus. It's great for you, I think.
But then he doesn't answer the call. What's his name? Manoharji. So
Shreyas,
yeah, he
okay.
sent me an invite. Shreyas, but I don't even know what it is. I can't understand. He gave me a long lecture on WhatsApp, but I couldn't understand a word, honestly. It's like it's an
Okay,
audio
okay.
thing or Yeah.
I'll take you through it, Cyrus. I'll give you a call.
Okay,
Yeah, I
but
think you'll really like
offline
it.
because
Yeah.
it'll be very boring and I'll faint
Yeah,
and
right now.
I'll lose
Yeah,
interest.
correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clubhouse coming soon. Next.
Yeah. Next one comes in for Amit from Karan Sethi. He says, now that the Lakers are eliminated, who would be the favorites for the NBA title?
It's a good question. I wish I could have said the Sixers, but I can't because they played like assholes last night. They were down by no, dude. They were
Awesome
down by
expression.
like 30 points in the first half, and then they made it a close game at the end. But I mean, like I stopped watching by then.
There was
Uh,
30-point gap after the first half.
yeah, they were down by like not 30, but like
And
25,
and
26 points, something like that.
what was the final? What was the
They were down
disparity in
by
the
they
end?
lost by 4 at the end of it.
So it was like a normal game.
Yeah, so they caught up, but it was just like, man, I was hoping that they would do better. Right now, I mean, like, I don't know. Clippers won today; they beat the Mavericks. So Clipper, nah, probably. I don't know. I don't like Brooklyn. I used to like Milwaukee. I thought Milwaukee or the Sixers, one of the two, were going to win after the Lakers were out, but Milwaukee got whomped by Brooklyn in the first game, and the Sixers lost to Atlanta where they were getting whomped. So I don't know anymore, right? I mean, like I don't. I like Phoenix, but Chris Paul is hurt. Utah feels blah to me. Denver doesn't seem like it. It's going to be interesting, man. I think that the performances have been all over the place.
But what we can do is high-profile teams like the LA Lakers. Everybody knows who they are. If you don't follow basketball, doesn't matter. We can fit them into our pack schedule in September at the IPL in Dubai, Abu Dhabi.
I'm sure they will be there.
Because we can use a couple of extra teams, even if they play the wrong sport. So it'll be, for me, I think it makes a lot of sense. Because when the high-profile team goes, you sometimes kills the. Are they the most high-profile? Who'd be the most high?
No,
Chicago.
they are the most high profile team, without a doubt. They're the most high profile team, but they're also the most annoying team. Like, I'm very happy they're out. I just wish that there was a little more. But I mean, like, this is what makes for exciting playoffs as well, right? There's really, like, of the 8 teams that are left right now, I could see 7 of them win easily, right? Except for the
So that's
Atlanta
good for
Hawks.
business.
Yeah, except for the Atlanta Hawks who are playing the Sixers right now, I can see any of the other teams winning the championship. So it's good.
So maybe it's a case of King James spending too much time on internet forums and trying to take up cause after cause and perhaps just little deflecting off the game, or would that be too much?
Well, I think that's part of it, right? I think that's a big part of it.
No, I'm seriously asking.
Yeah, no, I
Sometimes
think
I
that's
wonder when an artist leaves his art and starts believing his own myth that it's important for me to
so.
re-engineer change. Why don't they just stay with the art and do that once they're done? That's
No,
what
so
I think.
forget the external stuff, right? I mean, the external stuff I understand why he does, right? But just the myth making within
No, it's
basketball
one thing to
itself.
buy stuff in your community and build houses and schools. I'm talking about taking stands and then spending the whole day getting anxiety because with the trolling and the fighting and the arguments and people saying this for you and against you and all that.
So it's a matter of self-image. Now, how does LeBron see himself as opposed to, like, LeBron James is someone who is much more likely to be in politics 20 years from now than any previous NBA
100%.
player was, right?
I think he's now obsessed.
Yeah.
I've been following some of the conversations and all that because I follow Right Wing America, by the way. Ben Shapiro and gang, Mark Knowles, all these guys. So they're winning me over. They're winning me over. Amit, save me. I used to be a lefty.
You need some saving. So this is the thing, right? Ben Shapiro is actually he's often extraordinarily stupid, but he's also often extraordinarily insightful, right? So I mean, like if you want to read somebody on the conservative side who is almost always smart, read Jonah Goldberg.
I've watched the Goldbergs.
Yes.
Love the show.
No, different show.
Don't remember Jonah.
Different Goldberg. Jonah Goldberg basically has a Substack. He writes. He's one of the best conservative writers.
Jonah's a man.
Yes.
Oh, Jonah, not Joanna.
Yeah.
What a mutt I
Jonah.
am.
Jonah Goldberg.
Jonah and the whale.
And another conservative worth reading is probably Andrew Sullivan. Andrew Sullivan is famously gay conservative immigrant to the US.
Gay conservative.
Gay
Nice.
conservative. Yeah.
That's a nice. I like the mixes. The mixes always make the most sense.
No, but two of the smartest people in that space, right? I mean, like if you're reading conservatives, the thing with Ben Shapiro is he is often very smart, but he's also he's a guy who's.
Okay, let's leave him aside. Dinesh D'Souza, have you heard?
He's a crackpot.
Indian prof. You don't like him?
He's a crackpot, dude.
Amit, you're scary. You're an extremist, left or right.
No,
You're
I mean, like
bloody scary.
Dinesh D'Souza is an extremist. I'm not an extremist. Dinesh D'Souza is an extremist, dude.
So he's part of Intifa. Silverie, just research all this.
No, he's
Intifa
not.
is the left. No, Amit is. I'm telling
I
him.
am. Okay, huh.
Yeah.
I'm part of
Careful.
Antifa.
Antifa, militant
Yes,
wing now.
that's what
Beating and hitting
apparently.
and hurting. Yeah. Yeah, on college campuses. This is the thing I've been going through for the last week. Anyway, I think we're running out of time. Amit will give me
Yes.
the Andrew Solomon book and the Goldberg book in a minute because he's 5 feet away. One door separates us. And yeah, it'll be like, I think, ek duje ke liye. We'll run into each other moment this is over. But please like the stream if you're enjoying the show and also subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
Yes, please.
And
important to
also, people, if you haven't, we launched a new show last week called Tere Mere Raste, or not last week, 2 weeks ago. Definitely check it out. Really, really fun stories about travel and such. And also, for the folks
Nobody told me.
who enjoyed the NBA, we launched another show, or rather, we started distributing a show called The Triangle Offense. They do a daily YouTube wrap up of the day's action on the NBA and a weekly conversation as well. So do check that out too, please.
Are they Americans or Indians?
Indians.
Because the
Nishant.
racist side of. But the racist side of me says I want Americans to talk basketball. I'm not happy with the Indians.
This is Nishant and Monish.
Are they Indian Americans?
Sorry?
Please tell me Indian Americans.
I think Monish
Are they
is based.
Indian Americans?
So Monish is based out of the US. Nishant is based out of India.
Oh, thank God.
But they're Indian. They look at it from an Indian perspective in that sense, right? So I mean, like, definitely fun show. Please.
So then, when they look at it from an Indian perspective, they'll be saying things like, "He's very good at the 3-pointers." Guys, 3-pointers when you score the shot from outside the D area. Or whatever. I'm just thinking you have to keep talking like that.
They assume that we know the sport a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because there's people like you and there's people like us, Mr. Antifa. Yes. Ben Shapiro ki jai. Ben Shapiro ki jai. I think I've touched a chord. I might be thrown out of the house very quickly. Okay, but we'll see you tomorrow with interesting guests. That's it from all three of us. Now, Juhi Chawla is on the line. I need to take this call. Oh, bro, Amit, you start all these fights and I have to finish it. Chalo. Bye, guys. Have a good day. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps. Please, we beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
We live in an age of disruption, of immense change in every aspect of work, life, and business. But is the old way of doing things truly dead? And are we ever going to stop saying the new normal? Join me, Varun Dugirala, on Advertising is Dead every Tuesday as I talk to entrepreneurs, leaders, creators, and change makers from across business, media, marketing, and beyond to dig a little deeper into how we got here, what we're doing now, and where we're headed. You can catch all the episodes of Advertising is Dead on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcast from.
2020 is a difficult year. A global pandemic, protests, elections, recessions. You get the picture. What we need is a space where we can have nuanced discussions about global affairs and foreign policy. That's where I come in. My name is Hamsini Hariharan, and I host the States of Anarchy podcast. Every second Tuesday, I speak to experts in the field of international relations to make a little more sense of the world. So join me on the IVM podcast app, website, or wherever you're listening to me right now.